Unit 5, Money Markets, Lecture 2, Introduction to Money Markets, Part B. We are moving now into looking at money market instruments in more detail. However, before we move on to that, we have to talk about something called accrual conventions. Now, depending on where your money market instrument is issued, there is a different day count convention used to calculate the accrual for interest purposes. So they accrue interest in one of two different day count conventions. In South Africa, including other countries such as Great Britain and Australia and Canada, we use what is referred to as the actual over 365. So the numerator contains the actual number of days in a period. So if your money market instrument was issued on the 1st of January 2017 and it matures on the 31st of March 2017, then you have to calculate the actual number of days that they are between those two dates. Your denominator is fixed at 365. In places like Europe, they use the actual 360-day convention. So the numerator is exactly the same, which is the actual number of days in the period, but the denominator is fixed at 360. So it assumes that every single month in the year has 30 days. We're going to start our journey through money markets by looking at yield or interest add-on instruments. And I'm going to be focusing on the diagram in the bottom half of the page. So when this instrument is issued in the primary market, it's a market where the ultimate borrower or issuer interacts directly with the investor, the amount of money that changes hands is referred to as the nominal or face value or principal sum. So, for example, if the borrower wanted to borrow R1,000,000, then that is referred to as the face value, and that is also the price at which this instrument is issued in the primary market. If that borrower issued this instrument for a year and they were willing to pay 10% interest per annum, then at maturity, the investor would receive the nominal face value of R1,000,000 plus accrued interest, which would be 10% of the R1,000,000, which would be 100,000. So this instrument pays interest on the amount invested together with the principal on the redemption or maturity date. So to reiterate, for yield or interest add-on instruments, the coupon rate is an explicit interest rate. This is the interest that is paid on the face value. Interest accrues according to the day count convention, and there are two of them. It could either be actual over 365 or actual over 360. There is a principal sum, which is paid or invested up front, which could also be referred to as the face value or nominal value. At maturity, the investor receives the principal sum plus interest that is paid, and this instrument may or may not be negotiable. Going to look at now in a little more detail the calculations for the yield instruments. The first calculation we're going to look at is the issue calculation. And the main component of the issue calculation is just the maturity value. We know what the price is. It will be equal to the face value or the nominal value. But when we're calculating the maturity value, we have to take account of the coupon or interest that will be paid on this instrument when it matures. And so the maturity value is the nominal value multiplied by 1 plus the coupon